That's what wisdom and knowledge is, man. Understanding this word and applying it to your life, man. So if you know that shit's about to hit the fan, that all hell is about to break loose, and you believe, you have the faith of a mustard seed, and you believe what you hear, you're gonna believe these prophecies and get ready, like, and learn from the ant slugger and prepare for the winter.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? If you know wisdom and knowledge is what's going to sustain you in the hard times, what you're supposed to be doing, swallowing down wisdom and knowledge as much as you can, man. All right? And when you swallow down wisdom and knowledge, it's vast. It's vast. You become an economist. You know what I'm saying? You learn about the economy and how when you get in the mark of the beast, how business and commerce is going to be done. And how it's not gonna be done like it was from our day and time on back. It's gonna be something totally different. Okay, so that's how you got to go into breaking down Revelation 13, man.
An example of that, I went to the store, a clothing store. I didn't have a chip in my card, so I had to go show them ID just to purchase what I wanted to purchase. Like, I never had to show no ID to purchase no clothes. That's something totally new. So it's gonna, just like the brother said, it's gonna be going back to stuff you never experienced before.
Because when you swipe that chip or that barcode go over your head, guess what's gonna happen? Your face is gonna pop up. Your identity is gonna be on that chip. You see what I'm saying? So I mean, the way business and commerce is done, that's why you have to study how the technology or the radio frequency identification chip, man. So when you teach it to the hopeful elect and the elect, that they'll be like, well, damn, yeah, all right, that makes sense. That's why they got a chip on a credit card. Mm-hmm. All right, so that's why they put a chip in our dogs. Our dogs are just a trial run. You see what I'm saying? Yeah. Oh, all right, so they told us the dogs, it was for a tracking device, so they're going to use it as a tracking device, plus they're going to put our money and all our information on it. I mean, you have to be aware of these things, man. You have to be aware of these things and know how to funnel it through the scripture to bring Jacob back to Yasharala.
You can't be a nigga in this truth.
No.
Niggas don't last too long.
Niggas don't last long at all. All right. Let me get another precept. Shut it down. All right. This is, you could break this one down, bro. Here we go. This is Isaiah 34:16. Seek ye out the book of Yahweh and read. You got it on, Raati. Seek ye, this Isaiah 34:16. Seek ye out of the book of Yahweh and read.
To understand these prophecies and understand, as I said a little earlier, the past and the precedent it has in the current time, to give you a better understanding of how a particular situation is going to play out, because the outline is there. Because as we just said with the mark of the beast, it's a different ball game with how commerce is going to work in these current times, but you can see from the past how particular situations are going to play out now.
Right, I'm going to get a precept for that. None of these shall fail. None shall want her mate.
Because you understand these prophecies, kind of repeat myself, but you understand that none of these things shall fail because you have an understanding of the past.
When the Most High put that word out and say this is going to happen, guess what? That prophecy is going to meet her mate. All right? He say this is going to happen. This is the mate. All right, boom. Here go the mark of the beast. Boom. Here go the race wars. All right, boom. All hell is broke loose. That prophecy has to meet her mate. When it meets her mate, that means prophecy is fulfilled.
And that's another thing about men back in the ancient time. Their word was really all they got. So if they said it, that mean they was gonna do it. And the Most High is no different. If he says something gonna happen, he's gonna set things up to make sure it happens.
The scriptures say he watches over his word to perform it, man. You know? His word would not come back null and void, man.
And here comes wisdom. You have to understand that when you may first come to this truth, you think everything's going to happen the next week. But wisdom comes with understanding that the prophets were prophesying for maybe decades at a time, but those words still came to pass. That's the patience and the faith of the saints that in between time allowed them to gather more knowledge on the situation to get a better understanding.
What about Noah? You think Noah was preaching for 2 weeks?
100 years.
So 100 years of preaching the same thing over and over, flood coming. So if they say 100 years and you never experienced nothing like that, of course you ain't gonna believe. Just like we ain't never see fire like that was prophesied in the Bible, but it's gonna happen.
And look, for my mouth have commanded, and his spirit it have gathered them.
As it says in Habakkuk 2 verse 3, though it tarry, wait for it, because it shall surely not tarry, it shall come to pass.
Come on.
Because if you truly have faith and understanding and study to show yourself approved in these scriptures, you know that every word of Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai will not return unto him void.
That's why he said endure. He wouldn't say endure if something was gonna happen right next week or 2 weeks later, 3 weeks. That's not enduring. You got to endure when you hoping for something to happen and you don't know when it's coming, but you just hoping. You'll have a time. They'll have some people got a time limit in their head. This don't happen by this time. Fuck it.
Oh, you had men in the truth that done that. You had men that was holding fast to this thing, and it just didn't work out them in their time, and they lost faith, man. You know, they was shipwrecked. Lord willing, that don't happen to us, man. That's why you got to work out your own salvation with fear and trembling, man, and pray to the Lord that he keep on give you a spirit of long suffering and temperaments and patience, man.
Esau, if I could say, Esau's got a term called the summer soldier and the winter soldier. The summer soldier is that Johnny come lately who works on the weekend just to get his name seen, but that winter soldier hones his craft during the downtime, so when the show really begins, he'll be on point with everything.
Be surgical, be on point, be sharp, razor sharp, man.
In season and out of season.
I mean, and as a prophet, man, you want to hone your craft, man. You want to be one of the best. Yes, like King David stated, man, long as I'm the doorman in the kingdom of heaven. But you still striving for perfection. Matthew the 5th chapter say, be ye perfect as your Father in heaven is perfect. Like when these rappers, they want to be the best rapper. These basketball players, they want to be the best basketball players. How much a man of the Lord, man? I want to serve Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai and be one of the best, man. Not on no corner shit, not on no nigga shit. It's about me serving my power, man. Giving my all, man. You know? This is Romans chapter 15, verse 4. For whatsoever things were written aforetime were written for our learning. That's why it's imperative to know history, man. All right. When you study the infrastructure of Rome, their government system, and the way it was ran, America is a carbon copy. You had the Senate. That's where the Senate started. That's where you had your Flavians and your what they call them, the Republican, the
Republican Democrat.
No, they called it something else. In ancient Rome, the Flavians and the I think it's something like the Publicans or something like that. All right, and it's a carbon copy, man. And that's when they started voting for an emperor, and the emperor would rule 1 to 2 years, you know. Now, Caesar Augustus, he got on that bitch and said 40 plus years. But none after him did that. You see what I'm saying? So you got to learn history and know, all right.
Plebeians and patricians.
Plebeians, all right, and patricians, con. So, I mean, when you study history and you look at this dragon that was wounded, that was healed from his wound in Revelation the 13th, you got to know what the fuck you talking about, man. You want to break that down with grace, man. All right, and the Most High has gave this top-notch knowledge to his men, man. All right? So when you break down Revelation 13, you have to go into Roman history. You have to link it to, well, all right, how was that dragon healed? All right, you in Rome Revised right now, man. We could show you and link the way Rome was ran, the way America is ran into this day. It's a carbon copy, man. And one of the same, man.
And the Most High puts it on the spirit of these heathens to give you little hints here and there. The Treaty of Rome, where the European Union really came back together.
Whistleblowers.
And then, like, when you look at the when you go into medical, when a person becomes a doctor or a nurse, and then you when they speak on the medicines, everything is in Latin. Everything. When you go to the when you come to be a lawyer, all right, a lot of their terms are in Latin. All right, the Romans spoke Latin. All right, this society when you get in higher education, it's drenched. When you go to get into botanicals, all right, the understanding of flowers and shit, everything in this society is drenched in Latin. Your fucking dollar bill full of Latin. All right, that's a telltale sign. This is the dragon that was healed. That wound was healed, man.
Or even just Esau's spirit in general. He's all about that new world order, bringing everybody together under the umbrella of his rulership, which you wouldn't know unless you read up on the Tower of Babel, then the Grecian Empire under
That's
Alexander the Great. Up until now, Esau always has that same MO, showing that that spirit's been the same back
Bring
then
it
up
back
until today.
during when the time when the Grecians came into power and they put out that decree in the first Maccabees, the first chapter.
All people should be as one under the king.
That second Maccabees, the first Maccabees.
First
Maccabees, the first chapter. That was that Babylonian spirit that what Nimrod tried to put in place, man. All of it's connected. History synchronizes with the scriptures, and you have to study to show thyself approved to bring it out, man.
And another thing about the scripture just brought out where everything was written for before time. Even when brothers gone through afflictions and all that stuff, they got stories up in there to help you see how other people
got through it. Beautiful, bro.
Had got through it and stuff. Them stories up in there, like story of Job, that's in there for a reason.
To never give up.
Right. No matter how low you get.
And like King David, you see he fell, but he got back up, man. When the Most High discipline you, you take your correction and keep going. That was written for our learning, man. You know, never give up, man. Repent and keep moving. Don't make the same mistake twice, man. You got it, bro.
God, this is that account in First Maccabees. First Maccabees chapter 1. I'm going to start at verse 41. Moreover, King Antiochus wrote to his whole kingdom that...
All right. When you learn about King Antiochus, he came from those 4 generals that parted after King Alexander's death. All right. Those 4 generals were Seleucus. That's Antiochus came from the line of the Seleucians. Okay? Antiochus, you had a line of Antiochans that came from the line of the Seleucians. Then you had Cassandra, Ptolemy, and Licinius. Okay? And when you read about them, that's in Daniel the 7th chapter, man. Okay? You also read about them in the 2nd Ezra, man. Okay? So you have to know these scriptures, man. Bring it out, bro. You have to know history to link it up with the scriptures. You got it, bro.
It also goes to show how integral the Apocrypha is to the entire scriptures. You wouldn't know that unless you study the scriptures to know that the Apocrypha is referenced in the scriptures and vice versa in the main text as well.
And then he's about to show that what the same thing Antiochus Epiphanes did. That's where you get the word Antioch, comes from Antiochus. You see what I'm saying? When they say the Christians were first called Christians in Antioch, you see what I'm saying? Antioch was a fucking abominable piece of shit. And the word Christian, when you get into Christian notes, it was first given as a fucking, it was to demean you. They were calling them that. They were scoffing them when they called them Christians first. Bring it out, bro.
That all should be one people sounds similar.
That's that Babylonian doctrine that Nimrod tried to push on the planet. Bring it out.
That democracy today where Esau goes around to all these other people's lands and overthrows their government and gives their women rights and says, oh, everybody's equal. We're all just men and women and such. And everyone should leave his laws. That democracy, again, your old ways of thinking is outmoded. We have the true understanding of reality.
The forefathers.
So all the heathen agreed according to the commandment of the king. And how many other nations of people out here do you see wearing business suits, shaving their faces, believing in capitalism?
And that's how it was back then. So you had East Indians, Japanese. When they came into a Grecian territory, guess how they went dressing? They started putting on tiogas, wearing reeds around their head. They took on the customs of the people that was in power, man. That they start conforming to